Did you know you have the power to change your life? It all depends on your beliefs. If you have limiting beliefs, you limit yourself. I'm Becky Beach, and I'm here to help you overcome your limiting beliefs so you can design your dream life. This is the Becky Beach Show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Becky Beach Show. Today's guest is Val Selby. She owns the company called Bundle Bash, where she helps business owners get into bundles that will grow their business. So welcome, Val Selby.
Thank you. And just a quick correction, I co-own it with Raven. So I just want to make sure I couldn't do it without my partner.
Oh yes, it's a big business with all those bundles. I'm sure you get so many people wanting to be in the bundle. You need all the help you can get.
Mm-hmm. And I've been running them and managing them for 4 years. Before we were going to get talking, I started thinking about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I hit the 4-year mark just now of consulting and managing them. But it's a whole new ball game now that we're doing them constantly and every month. Yeah.
So what's what's a good way that a bundle will grow a business? It just helps them get in front of different audiences and gets their email growing. What else would it help with?
All of the above on that. And one of the key things is one really important thing before you go into any event is make sure that it's going to be your target market. I have personally wasted so much time by just trying to be in every event out there and grow my list. And then what I ended up with is a list of people that don't really care. They don't care about what I have to offer because I just found them in random places and was just trying to grow my list. Versus now when I'm purposely looking for events that my target market will be in, now all of a sudden, even if I'm only, and I say only in air quotes and sarcastically, only adding 100 people to my list, they are now 100 people that really want my information. So they become better buyers instead of just people on my list.
Yeah, when I first joined a bundle, Ruth Bauer, she has a birthday bundle almost every year. And the first time I heard about PLR was through her bundle, and I signed up, as a participant the following year. And I noticed so many new email subscribers and they're paid, they paid for the bundle. So they're good quality subscribers, who actually will buy your products. They're not looking for freebies.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I like about the bundle process versus the giveaway. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love giveaways. You get in the right giveaway and you are growing your list like crazy. But bundle takes it one step above. And just as you said, these are more of a warm lead because they already have been a buyer to get into the bundle. So it's just a bit warmer lead. You know that these people are willing to pay and see the value in the products.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. I've also joined some free bundles. And yeah, I just noticed that people that join free bundles, they tend to leave more often. I'm sure that both members in both bundles, they'll leave. But just from my experience, they'll leave more often. They'll give fake emails, and it's just yeah, that's why I notice.
Yeah, a lot of the time in the giveaway, I mean, it's a mindset thing, right? So part of the issue becomes, and I will even say from a user standpoint, because I sign up for a ton of online events, a ton, and even for me, if I'm following somebody and I know that their product really is valuable, if I didn't pay for it, my mindset, my brain just automatically scales it down, that it's really not that valuable without consciously doing it.
Oh yeah, yes. And so how did you get started doing bundles? I remember before you started Bundle Bash, you're helping other people with their bundles.
I fell into it kind of. No, I was Kelly McCausey's intern and she ran hers every year. So I came in right when she was running hers and kind of just saw that. Well, that following year, I was still her intern. And so I helped with that and helped create her system for that, which has led to me creating my system going forward. I helped with her summits. So I just really got engrossed in the community. And then of course, word of mouth happened. And the funny thing was, because for me, it was something that came easily. And I was like, I thought that was weird. I'm like, how did I just land into this? Well, like 10 years ago, oh gosh, it probably longer than 10 years ago. A friend of mine and I ran a site, and that's all we did on that site. But it was back before all this technology was happening. We didn't call it bundles or even an online sales event or anything like that. But we were running little events like this. And definitely doing it the hard way
Yeah.
without the tech. So when I started working on hers and then got, the word of mouth and started working on other people's, it dawned on me like 8 months into it. It's like, well, no wonder why it's coming not easily, but, natural to me, is because I had already done this before in a different format.
Yeah, you're like really, really good about organizing these bundles, because how many people on average usually submit to them?
We are getting at Bundle Bash, we're getting anywhere from 20 to 40. And now that we're working ahead months in advance, we're definitely working towards that 40 submissions and plus mark, which is awesome.
So what kind of products do you usually ask for in your bundles? Because I noticed you like change it up. Like this one bundle you had was only for courses, and then like do you do that normally? Like you just have different themes for each bundle?
We are looking at, well, and see, here's part of the thing. Raven and I, of course, Raven's in the PLR completely world, but we're so engrossed in the PLR world, but we know we need outside people for the PLR providers to be able to sell to. So our goal is to bring in more course creators for the different topics that everybody's looking for, very specific niches as well, so that you can grow your list, which was exactly what I was talking about at the very beginning, looking for the events so that you can find your ideal client customer. That's what our goal is over at Bundle Bash, is putting together specific bundles in different niches so that we know that we are attracting exactly what your business needs.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because there's like coaches that really need PLR to grow their business. A lot of them just want to have like a passive income business, and they're just tired of like doing like hourly client calls, and it would help them a lot better if they were selling PLR and stuff. So that's awesome to reach them.
Yeah, and they don't even know. I mean, there's I was just looking up stats yesterday while I was writing something up, and there's 5 billion people online. How many of those people don't even know that PLR exists?
Oh yeah, I sure didn't know myself. Like I didn't know that PLR existed either.
Yeah.
Like the longest time.
Yeah.
And then when I figured it out, like I was making everything from scratch. Like I always spent like 3 weeks on one printable, and not because when I always have a lot of trouble when I make printables because I'm like a perfectionist. But it's just so much easier to just start with a PLR and then you customize it,
And especially like you were saying, especially coaches, business coaches, life coaches, any of that, because when we're coaches, it's really hard to balance the time that we're spending with the clients and then creating new product. We can't spend weeks and out, all the hours creating the products, or it's that hard balance of, what's the best use of our time, which taking PLR and editing it with our own voice is like an amazing use of our time.
Yeah, yes, it's like so easy because a lot of it comes in PowerPoint and Canva. So if you're listening, you don't know the right programs, like you don't need like Photoshop and stuff. Like a lot of it comes in Canva, and that's a free to use program. And then PowerPoint's very, very cheap. It's like $99 a year for the Microsoft suite, so anybody could afford to start using PLR. So tell me more about yourself. Like what were you doing before you started your business? Were you like ever working 9 to 5 or anything?
Oh my gosh, I've held random 9 to 5 jobs all over the place over the years. I've been working online since 2000 in various different things. A lot of the times I was in the service industry. So I was a lot of VAs, and that helped me learn a lot of different things too, and being in a lot of the back end of different people's programs and platforms. But my big one was I was a personal trainer and I was a track coach. And, so all of that is, I've always been a coach.
Oh,
You know,
great.
and even back in the days in 2000, you know, as soon as I would learn something, then the people who didn't know it behind me, you know, I'd be answering questions for them. You know, it's absolutely my personality just to be, you know, helping along the way and teaching what I know, sharing because I talk too much. That's just my thing. I talk too much. I share too much.
Oh,
Air
we love
quotes,
for it.
air quotes on those. So I put that to use now with
Oh,
my talking too much and my sharing too much. I put that to use in teaching what I have learned.
yeah, Val was my coach for a while, and then you closed your membership because it just got too busy.
It did. I had to revamp. I mostly had to revamp because Bundle Bash grew. And when you start a business in April, by October, you don't expect it to be so huge. So it was just way too much. I closed it, revamped it. It's starting back up again here in, you know, a few more weeks, depending on when this is going to be air. But yeah, it's starting back up because I do totally miss it.
Yeah, I sure miss it too. Like, yeah, Val is a great coach. I really learned so much from her.
Thanks,
And
Becky.
she like really listens intently about what you have to say and gives like really good advice. Like, I really liked it.
That warms my heart that you said the listening part because for so many years, I wasn't a very good listener. So it was one of those things that I didn't care for about my personality. So I worked on.
Mhm.
So for you to lead with that, it's just like, oh my gosh, I did it.
So what's like the biggest hurdle when you're running your business or challenge?
Well, my biggest hurdle right now is still outsourcing. And I don't know if it's mindset or what it is, but I have an amazing VA. I absolutely adore him. And yet I will find myself doing the work instead of passing it to him. I do know that I have some control issues. I'm aware of that.
Mhm.
I am aware of that, but I trust him so wholeheartedly that, you know, thankfully now I'm starting to transition into that because we can't level up. There's not enough hours in the day to level up and hit our major goals if we are trying to do every single aspect of
Mhm.
it ourselves.
Yeah, you're just so right. Like right now, I'm trying to find like a VA to do like these menial tasks that I always have to do when I'm making products. Like I can make it the product made, but then I got to make the sales page and film a
Yeah.
video, and just take so much time, like hours.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, one of the things, and that was one of the things with the membership as well, was I still had products sitting on my computer or sitting in, even in pages in the back of my website that weren't getting set up for the members to be able to get into. So they're just sitting there and they would drive me bonkers. And it's just because I just have to sit down, take that extra time, make the video, and hand it off to him. So prioritizing right now, I'm at the level, and this is an awesome thing, because I've waited to get to this level, right? Where it's like there's no way for me to keep expanding without the help. So I have to transition my head into, okay, this needs to happen. And sitting down and doing the video, even though it's going to take me longer, is a good use of my time because there's going to be so many of these that I'm just going to like click over to and say, hey, would you please take care of this? Hey, would you please take care of this? And that's going to save me hours of time so that I can get creative. Yeah, doing those tasks and all of that, then I'm just like sitting here going, oh, but I have to do all of this and this and this and this. And it's like, it's so boring.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to hire somebody else because there are people that could do that job. It's not like it's not anything like it's not really creative or anything. It's just
Mhm.
making a sales page and just making a mock-up images and then editing a video. It's just so simple.
Yeah. And there's people that not only can they do it, but they will probably do it better than I do. That's what my VA is. He's very task oriented, and he finds things that I don't find. Like, and so I have to remember that, you know what, that's okay. That's okay. Remember this, he's going to actually probably do it better than I am, so let him do it.
Yeah, because there's people that like specialize in different skills, and like a good place that I've been using is filipinojobs.com.
Mhm.
or Phil. Oh, it's online. It's onlinejobs.ph. I'm sorry. And right now I'm like hiring. I'm hiring multiple jobs. Like I'm even hiring a bookkeeper because I got a bookkeeper that keeps raising the price
Mm-hmm.
like every so often, And I thought I was in a contract, but it looks like they just keep raising the price like all of a sudden, and it's by a lot too. So I've been looking for a bookkeeper on there, and yeah, so it's a great place to find people that are very talented, but they don't charge as much because money
Mm-hmm.
goes a long way. Like $300 could pay someone's bills for the month.
Yeah.
So what do you think your biggest strength is in your business?
I have absolutely found that my biggest strength is networking. That came about in my head a lot because I'm one of those weird people that I don't mind customer service. In fact, I loved customer service. I've always been in service industries. I was a barista for 15 years. I've always thrived on talking to people and the customer service aspect. So the networking's just the same thing. And it's crazy how long it took me to realize that, yes, I've been online since 2000. How many people do I know in those 22 years? I'm not bugging them when I contact them and tell them about, opportunities that I have or, what's coming on, because I'm usually like randomly connecting to people and I might not even have a foot in that. I might not even have any money in it whatsoever. I'm just like, oh, I know so-and-so. And it pops out of my brain without even knowing. It's like, well, of course it does, you silly girl.
And networking is super popular, especially when you're trying to do affiliate marketing or even selling your own products, because you have to make sure you know the right people and to get in front of their audiences. And so that really helpful. So you're an extrovert, definitely, but like, do you have any tips for an introvert that might have trouble networking?
Well, that's the funny thing. I'm not an extrovert. I'm an ambivert.
Well, what's that?
Both.
Oh, both. Okay.
I always used to joke that I was an introverted extrovert because I didn't know that there's an actual label for it. I'm an ambivert. I do have the extrovert personality for sure. And I have worked at increasing that. That's been work too, because I can hole up like a hobbit like no tomorrow. I could be at home for a month, no problem. Don't talk to me. I can do that as well. The ambivert part is just the fact that when I do have, like, I just went away for a weekend, when I have all of that stimulation, when I come home, I have to decompress. And introverts don't usually have to do that. They don't usually have to have the decompression period. So that's literally the only difference. But for introverts, I have quite a few clients that like to call themselves introverts. And I've been doing some real studying of this whole introvert thing and how much it becomes a comfort blanket of, well, I can't do this because I'm an introvert, and introverts don't do that. Because when an introvert is passionate about a topic, you're all in.
Yes.
I mean, look at you right now. You're on a podcast. It would have been really easy for you to say, oh, I can't do my own podcast because I'm an introvert and that's just way out of my comfort zone. But you're passionate about this. You're passionate about the topics. So you're like, yeah, I'm going to be here and I'm going to do it. And it might be a little awkward and a little uncomfortable, but I have things to tell people. And that's what I'm really looking at with a lot of my introverted clients is it's a label. And it's just one of those, and I'm not saying this is harsh whatsoever, but we have so many excuses. We all have excuses that we love to use because they're the easy grab. And the label of introvert and extrovert has been a really easy grab for any of us. For example, you just assumed because of my personality is so big that I'm an introvert, or that I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do. So then that usually leads introverts to be like, well, I can't do that because I'm not like her, kind of thing. So I really love it if people jump into that label and really question it for themselves, because when you're passionate about something, you won't hide behind that label.
So what would you tell someone that's thinking of joining a bundle, Like, what do you think it would benefit them?
My first major suggestion is to find a product that's going to attract your ideal client, your ideal customer. Second, it's also really good to have another product that you're going to be upselling quickly. It doesn't have to be a tripwire. It doesn't have to be that quick, but you have something ready so that you're making that sale pretty quickly.
Oh, great. Yeah, every time I enter a bundle, I always have like an upsell, or that way I can make money, because that way you're getting subscribers and then you're also making money. But what would you do if like I had this subscriber sent me like a real mean email because like, they didn't know they signed up for my list, and they were just all confused because I guess they signed up for a bundle and they got on my list. What would you say to those people that just get all confused about being on your list and stuff?
Well, the great thing for me using Active Campaign is I can see why they were joining my list. So I can track that down. And I can even track down, if there is problems, I can track down which emails they've opened. So that I know that they've got the welcome email and they opened it and that kind of thing. But I keep it really short. I'm getting so much better at not over explaining, because that does cause issues when I add too much in there. I keep it really short and say, and I don't apologize either. I do not apologize. I say, okay, I see that you joined my list in this bundle and it was with this product. Can I help you access that product? And I leave it at that. Of course, depending on whatever they emailed me. Otherwise, one of my big things, if somebody is ugly to you in your email or at all, period, you have the power to not even have to answer. You can go in and just block them. Just delete them, block them from your list. Don't even give them the time of day. If they come in really ugly. And I think that is something that more entrepreneurs really need to pay attention to, because it's so easy for us to look at that one email and we're not even paying attention that we had 100 great sales. We've got that one email and we fester on it, and I am including myself as well in on that. So if it's that ugly, that gross, that bleh, I don't want this person around me. I'm never selling them anything anyways because they're too much work. Just delete them.
Oh yeah, like actually that this person, I said, oh, like I keep getting on your list, but they just keep signing up for the bundles and the freebies and stuff. That's how they keep getting on my list. So they're really angry at me because they kept finding themselves on my list, when they're tired of me emailing them.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is easy to just focus on the negative, but really think about all the people that did join, that did want to listen to you.
Yeah, it's really easy for us to focus on the negative. Our brains just naturally go there to try and protect ourselves. And we, like I said, we just have to remember that we've got the power. One thing that I do like to also have when I'm submitting to a bundle or any event is I do like to have a little bit of a series of emails that are sent out, kind of a welcome. And that way it also hopefully gets them to unsubscribe if it's not for them, like right away.
Because what's the way that you find company during the day? Because I know it can be really hard to be an online business owner and get lonely. Like, do you like just have to have a chat you talk to, or just go out with friends and stuff?
I have my accountability buddy. So we check in every morning and just like say our quick thing of what we're going to get done during the day. If something's going on, I mean, we've been really good friends for a lot of years now. So if something's going on, we'll chat throughout the day. Raven and I are chatting throughout the day, usually back and forth a little bit about the business. Otherwise, during the day, that's about it. And I think that's why I've got that ambivert thing going on. I'm okay as an introvert at home.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. In fact, sometimes my husband will like push me out. He's like, you need to go talk to people. You need to go, you need to go be human. So I do now. I have volunteer organization that I'm president of. And so I do that. And I was going to join the chamber, and then I decided, you know what? I think just the volunteer and doing the stuff for the community, I think that's the way I want to engage away from the house.
Oh, that's great. That is important to get out of the house. Like I volunteer for Unbound. It's like a human trafficking. And then also like volunteer at the Arlington Life Shelter. It's like for homeless women and their children. That's some place I do. But that's a great way to get out of the house if you're an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, is to get out there and volunteer, and,
Mhm.
and donate some of your time. And maybe if you have a church, you can like go there and help, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of things you can do. So what would you tell somebody listening that's thinking that they might want to join a bundle, but they're kind of scared?
I would definitely want to know why they're scared. No, I would assume that they're scared because it's probably they're brand new to business.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of pieces, and don't freak out about getting all the pieces 100% correct. As
Hmm.
as long as it's in working order, there's no such thing as perfect. Our websites are never perfect. Becky will vouch for this. Our websites are never perfect. None of our products are ever perfect. I mean, there's just no version of perfect because we're constantly learning something new and we're like, oh, I'm going to add that. Oh, I'm going to change this. Oh, I forgot I needed to do this kind of thing. So just remember that it's not perfect and that's okay because it needs to get out there. Your product needs to get out there to people. If you can't get in front of people, you can't make sales. If you're not making sales, you're not a business owner.
Hmm.
And the quicker we can get to being a business owner, the more sales we can make because all of a sudden we feel validated that okay, people do want this. Okay, now what do they want?
Oh yeah, that's great. It's like a good way to find out people want. You can survey your audience. That's what I do a lot to see
Mhm.
what everybody might want. So what's like the most popular thing in bundles that as people download more than others? You ever get that feedback?
Um, no, because it depends on what the bundle is. Um, there's the things that get downloaded the most are really quick fixes. So in like the giant giveaway that I run for a client every December, I know last year the biggest opt-in, and now this is a giveaway, not a bundle. The biggest opt-in was Molly Mahoney's, I think it was 100 social media posts. And it
Hmm.
was her top 100 social media posts. I mean, they were tried and trued and tested over the last 2 years. And that was the most downloaded because it was instant and people could look at it and tweak it immediately and put it right to use.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense because everybody's looking for like a quick win, and there's just so many things in the bundle. When they get a bundle, they're like looking through it. They go, "Gosh, there's just so much stuff. I don't think I can download this in time."
Mhm.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that will set you apart is if you are specifically talking to your target market, you are specifically fixing one of their problems, whether it's with PLR and they don't, how to use it, or they need this kind of PLR for their shop, or something super specific that you can help them with. And then they're going to use it, and then when they use it, then they're apt to come and grab more products, right? Because they're like, oh, I've got thousands of PLR products on here, speaking from my own computer.
Yeah.
But this is what I used, and since I used it, that means it's getting written in the format that I need, or just however my brain processes. I'm going to go get my next product from there as well.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense because if they get one thing from you and it really helps them, they're going to continue to purchase and be a customer for life
Mm-hmm.
because they know that you're their person and one they can look to for expertise and support.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, and these bundles will really help you find repeat customers because like I've gotten a lot of my repeat customers from bundles because I
Yeah.
look at my email list and they all came a lot of them came from bundles and they may purchase my stuff. You can actually use ConvertKit to tag every time someone buys something.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can just look and see like, yeah, they started from a bundle, so it's
Yeah.
a great way to grow your business. And what I would say to people that are scared, like just get out of your fear, because if you don't make a step towards growing your business, then you're never gonna get out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just live in fear your whole life and live from circumstance. You just got to get out there and just start. Just one
Yeah.
step is all it takes. Like just get like a sales, maybe you have an existing sales page. Just get that existing sales page, make a copy of it, put like a free coupon on there, and there's your bundle page. It's really easy.
Yep. And it is a transition from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, but you have to decide, are you hungry enough? Is your why enough to get over the fear? And I also like to ask, what if? I ask myself, what if all the time? If I'm bouncing up against some kind of wall of why I'm not doing something, I'll just work through. Okay, so what's the problem? Why do I not want to do that? Okay, well, what if that does happen? And usually the answer is just like, well, so what? If you start going down the process, it's like, is that going to change my life? No, not really. Is it going to be like embarrassing? You're going to die of embarrassment, which is like my fear.
Yeah.
I hate being embarrassed. I absolutely hate being embarrassed. And I'll work through the possibility that, even the most ridiculous stuff that's flowing through my head. I'll just work through, okay, well, what if that does happen? Well, of course, you can basically work any of those what ifs down to, well, nothing's going to change, or it's so ridiculous that the percentage of it happening is not even quantifiable.
Yeah, I used to live in fear myself. I was working a dead-end job, and I was thinking, I just don't think I can do this. But then when I had my child, that became my why. Like why I wanted to get away from the office and the 9-to-5 life. And because I was working 60-hour weeks as a web developer, and I would stay till like 2 a.m. some nights. It was just no way to live. And I started getting carpal tunnel syndrome. So that was my why, was my child.
Yeah.
That's the idea, to think of your why.
Yeah. And my why definitely is, I don't think I'm hireable anymore. I mean, you've been home for a little bit now. Can you imagine going to work on somebody else's schedule now?
No,
oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I can't do it.
No, that alone gets my butt going through my to-do list of, okay, what do I need to offer back up? Because there's no way I'm going to go work for somebody else.
Yeah, me neither. I had the worst month this month, actually. And I made like even less than I was making for my 9-to-5 job during the month. And I was like, oh no, do I have to go back to my 9-to-5 job or find one?
Yeah.
So I was really kicking the pants. Like, I got to do this. So I got like 3 products out in one day.
Yep. Exactly. It's amazing how much stuff we could get done when we're like, oh, hell no.
Yeah. It's like, you're like, if you have to go back to your 9-to-5, like you really don't want to. Like, gosh, I sure don't want to go back to mine.
It's like, ooh, then I have to like be on time to work when they tell me to. I mean, whatever job would probably be okay. I wouldn't mind that, but it's just like, I don't want to be there when they tell me. I don't like to be told what to do anymore.
Yeah. So for those listening, like think of your why. Like, why do you might want to start your own business, and just do like baby steps, like maybe join a bundle when you get your store up. Like it can even be like a personal use bundle or a PLR bundle if you're a PLR seller. Like there's lots of personal use bundles. If you ever look at ultimatebundles.com, that's good for personal use. And you can get your products in there, and then you just make like a sales page for it, and put a free coupon. And you could join that bundle. So that's also a good one. Or bundle bashes for like PLR mostly, right?
Nope, not at all. No, we're both. Yeah, we've got both. We've got limited PLR, because we are limiting the PLR to just the really good stuff. Because we do know so many people, but it is mostly courses. And I do have to say, one other thing about the courses that we do end up having a lot of people asking, because you can't just submit PLR that you've bought, like a journal or anything like that. And especially for us, because we do know what everybody's launches are. We've probably seen it. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, but then what am I going to do with it? I don't do a course and all of that. And it's like, well, you don't have to do a course where you're like putting it up on Teachable and doing videos and all of that. A course can be as easy as writing an email sequence that teaches them how to use your edited PLR journal. It's that simple. And honestly, if you're selling a personal use planner, you should be having that email sequence in there anyways, because you want those contacts with them. You want to constantly be in their face so they don't forget you.
Yeah, great ideas there. Like, and courses are really simple to make. Like, you can just use Canva or PowerPoint for like slides, and just film yourself going through the slides and just talking. It's really simple.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like let us know where we can find you. Like, is it bundlebash.com, or do you have any other social media?
If you go to bundlebash.biz/home, we do have our up and coming bundles on there with descriptions of what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole goal with Bundle Bash is to get business owners in front of their ideal clients. So we've got niche bundles, we've got the visibility one coming up in January, the outsourcing, we've got the outsourcing toolkit will be in February. And then we've got some in between there as well, but those are definitely the niche ones starting for 2023 that we're going to be doing. And we've got all the information on there for the interest forms. Fill out the interest forms, and then we'll get back to you.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Val. Like, I sure learned an awful lot. I'm sure those listening or watching on YouTube sure did too. Yeah, thanks so much. I'll definitely have Val's information in the show notes. You can find the show notes at mombeach.com/podcast. Well, thanks so much again, Val.
Thank you for having me, Becky. I love talking about bundles.
Oh, great. Okay, well, have a great day. Goodbye. Thank you so much for listening to the Becky Beach Show. Please go to mombeach.com/podcast to learn more about my podcast and for show notes. If you want a 2022 free printable goal planner, please go to mombeach.com/subscribe. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great day. Goodbye.